All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this media briefing. Welcome to this media briefing that is with the explosion that took place at the Mobil gas station 2 days ago. It's at Regent and King Street. This is it has been a police-led investigation supported by the various intelligence agencies. With us this evening at the head table, Minister of Home Affairs, the Honorable Honest Walleran, National Security Advisor, Captain Jerry Govaya, Chief of Defense Staff, Provincial Dat Budram, Deputy Commissioner of Operation Errol Watts, Deputy Commissioner Simon McBean, and he's the Commander of the Regional Division 4A, and the Head of Special Branch, Senior Superintendent from Narayan. Just to establish the framework for this afternoon's media briefing, the Commissioner will first offer a statement, and then we will open the floor for questions. When the Commissioner is done, I will revisit this in terms of the protocol that we will work with for this evening's media briefing. Of course, we want to be able to get in as many questions as possible, but within the a reasonable time frame. So let me hand you over to the Commissioner, Mr. Hicken.
Good afternoon, and thank you for making the standard protocols that were established. Honorable Minister, NSA, Chief of Defense.
Let me just shift the mics, please. We're not hearing him clearly.
Honored senior and junior officers, members of the press, good afternoon. I'm here this afternoon.
1 second, Commissioner. Let me just get everybody there.
And can we just lower his mic a little bit as well? Thank you.
Just want to make sure everybody gets okay, good.
Right, so as not to miss anything, we started off on Sunday and we are currently investigating it. So I built this in a document that I'm going to read to you so that we're not going to forget anything, and all that you want to know, you're going to know today. And so, the Ghana Police Force, major breakthrough, an explosion investigation. And so, the main suspect is in custody for a coordinated police operation. The Ghana Police Force has made a significant breakthrough in its investigation into the 26th of October 2025 explosion observed in the vicinity of a fuel station, carrying 2 large black bags. It should have been one. Moment later, a powerful explosion occurred on the western side of the premises, resulting in the death of 8-year-old, injuring 4 others, which was taken to the hospital. The gas station and several nearby buildings where the vehicles were damaged. Course of action. From the onset, a special investigative task force was established comprising members of the Major Crime Scene Investigators, Criminal Investigation Department, Region 3, 4A, and 4B, and key stakeholders, supported by intelligence and forensic experts. The investigation was coordinated from the highest level of the force, with continuous oversight by the Commissioner of Police and his executive leadership team. Work of the police and technology. The force, in collaboration with the Safe City Command Center and earlier intelligence agencies, utilized video forensic analysis, digital tracking, and data correlation to trace the suspected movements before and after the incident. Acting on credible information through interagency coordination and field intelligence, investigators were able to locate the suspect at Fortune Side Dam, East Bank Essequibo, where he was captured earlier today, Tuesday, October 28, 2025, in a coordinated operation led by a superintendent. This success underscored the integration of modern policing technology with traditional investigation work, demonstrating the force's growing capacity in countering terrorism and digital intelligence operations. The main suspect, Daniel Alexander Ramirez Guillermo, a Venezuelan national, is presently in custody assisting with ongoing investigations. Several other persons of interest are being questioned as the force expands its probe to determine whether the act was part of a larger organized network or lone wolf operation. Investigation are also working closely with the regional and international counterparts, including Interpol, and verify the suspect background and possible affiliation. Based on the evidence gathered thus far, detectives are establishing the elements to support the charges of Section 39A and 39B of the Criminal Law Enforcement, the Criminal Law of Offences Act, Chapter 801, which addresses acts of terrorism and conspiracy to commit terrorism. Additionally, charges relating to murder, attempt murder, arson, malicious damage to property, and being actively pursued pending legal advice from the Director of Public Prosecution. At my level, I thank the ranks for the exceptional work, intelligence analysis, and all ranks involved in swift apprehension of the suspect. You underscored that the incident demonstrated the force's capability, discipline, professionalism, support by the effective use of technology and intelligence policing. I reaffirm that the Guyana Police Force remains resolute and relentless in the duty of protecting the public, ensuring that any act of terror or violence is met with decisive and lawful action. The investigation remains active as investigators continue to examine all evidence to determine the motive, origin, and any wider connection surrounding the attack. An AI-enhanced image captured the perpetrator on the CCTV footage recovered at the crime scene was used to aid the investigation, and as a result, the police received some leads as the identity of the prime suspect, which ultimately led to the successful apprehension of the suspect. He's currently in custody, and that is my brief.
All right, thank you very much, Commissioner. We will now open the floor for questions, but before we do that, you're all experienced, so you know the protocol. You identify yourself, media house, the name, media house you represent, and we want to try to get through the questions, or enough questions, so we'll move around as best as we can. All right.
Good night, Nagasio Logan in CN News. Guyana's received, even prior to 2020, Commissioner, Spanish-speaking immigrants and Minister, at a time when the world responded collectively to humanitarian crisis in Venezuela. What steps have been taken to monitor the migrant presence here? Could we see any new initiative rolled out to heighten surveillance? And when did this perpetrator enter the country?
I'm going to give a first part, and I'm going to hand over to Adam to deal with the second part. Well, sooner or later, while we've been monitoring them at the ports of entry as they come in, they register. That's why I give they register as they come into Guyana. But within the next 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to use another mechanism where we're going to ID all the immigrants that are in Guyana that are now registered, and so they are going to be registered through the process.
When did he enter the country?
Thank you for your question, Nagasio. The prime suspect, along with his accomplice, who is from Venezuela also, entered Guyana by illegal means, by boat, last Sunday, that's the 26th of October, 2025.
Guyanese are feeling uneasy, somewhat uneasy. What assurances do you have for our nation? What security apparatus is on top of things as far as intel sharing and collaboration across agency, as you mentioned earlier, Commissioner?
You know, we have Interpol, we have the JRCC, we have all the international stakeholders that we're working with, and we're going to continue to work with them.
All right, thank you very much. Gordon?
Gordon, mostly news source. Mr. Brennan, did you say the suspect entered Guyana on Sunday?
Correct.
The same night of the attack, the same day?
That is correct.
So how, in terms of how he was able to get the explosives and so, what is the investigation like in that specific area? Do you believe he came specifically for that? How was that particular service station targeted?
At this stage of the investigation, I prefer not to disclose certain information to the public. We're at a very critical stage. What I can confirm is that he came last Sunday at 8 a.m. and he was supported by other accomplices, both Venezuelans and Guyanese. So I leave it at there. The investigation is still ongoing.
Have the investigation so far determined the type of explosives that were used? Could you say?
As I said before, the investigation is at a very critical stage, and that information will be released to the public in due course of time. What I can say is that the suspect is cooperating with the investigators. We have already secured a confession statement from him. Among other things that he mentioned to us is that the device, he brought it in from Venezuela to Guyana. He also indicated that the device had a switch which he activated when he exited the vehicle, which was parked within the vicinity of the gas station. I will leave it at that.
All right, Gordon, just bear with us. We want to be able to. Just so that we could accommodate everybody, we'll try to see if we can keep it to 2 questions. That's fair.
Thank you. Travis Chase, Nightly News. In March of 2025, the former Home Affairs Minister said that there are several sleeper agents from Venezuela in Guyana. I'd like to know what was done since then with that information. And secondly, were any other successful laboratory analysis yielded?
I cannot speak to a statement that was made by the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs at that time. What I can say is that the previous incident that we had, that matter is currently engaged in the attention of the court, and as a result of that, I have to be very circumspect with what I say. I do not want to be in any breach of the court procedure.
Go ahead.
Naomi Paris for the Guyana Chronicle. Specifically to the crime fighting technology, could you walk us through what apparatus was used to get us to this point? Also, for beefing up the country's national security, how would you describe the role of the public in crime fighting, and do you think that we are where we should be, and what should the public posture be?
All right. On the East Coast, there is a command center across the regions, regions 2, region 3, region 6. They are command centers, and we are in the process of building command centers to all the other regions. This is the first thing. Secondly, yes, I can do that. We've had cameras placed on the streets within hotspots, and so it can aid what we're doing. And I'm going to stop there for now. And yeah, I'm going to stop there for now. You know that. In relation to the public and the acceptance of the police, I'm happy that you asked the question, because the media is supposed to be helping us in this regard. Every religious day, either the commander, deputy commander, or the generals are in the communities, trying to ascertain from the people what are some of the problems, how they can help them, and they are doing that throughout the days, throughout the week, on a Sunday too. And so we are going to keep at that until the crowd understand, or the public understand, that we are here to support them. And so I think we're being supported by some communities already, but we need to focus on the others, and I think that's a work in progress.
All right, the final question from Travis, and then we'll come to this.
Mr. Glenhumble, you said that the suspect is cooperating with investigators. how were you able to interact with him? Does he speak English as well?
We have a translator who's assisted the investigators during the course of the investigation.
So he spoke no English?
I'll leave it at that.
Tricia Silver, Guyana Times. You said that the suspect is cooperating with the police as it relates to the investigation. Are there any details about, or established details about the motive behind the attack?
As I said, at this point in time, I prefer not to disclose anything pertaining to motive during the course of this investigation. When you're in a position to do so, we will divulge that information to members of the media.
Or Dennis? Dennis, I'll just come back to you.
Dennis Chabot, Bureau News. Mr. Bannon, could you see whether any other types of explosive related material were found at places that the gentleman may have visited? And can you also say whether he was trained militarily? And thirdly, sir, even as the two images were released to the public earlier today, there is some skepticism among members of the public about whether indeed this is the person who indeed committed a crime. Why are you so certain that he is the person who actually committed the offense? And to the minister, as I have the microphone, when persons come to Guyana, are they fingerprinted as part of the processing? And in the application for visas and extensions of stay, are they fingerprinted as well?
Mrs. Chabral, first and foremost, as I said, we are still interviewing the suspect. As we speak, what we were able to confirm is that he has some affiliation with a gang in Venezuela known as R. R is linked to the Sindicato gang. Secondly, the issue of identification, there's no issue about identification. The issue of identification does not exist. The prime suspect was positively identified by one of his accomplices. More so, the suspect, as I mentioned before, confessed his involvement in this particular crime. There's no issue about identification any longer. Thank you.
Shania Prasad, DPI. Can you get an
Yeah,
update?
we just have two. Dennis went beyond his quote about the try to check it.
Oh, no.
Yes, just so
Okay,
Mrs.
I
gonna
was
respond,
waiting for
and then we're gonna come back to you.
Okay, but Venezuelans, migrants who come here through our ports, they're all registered. Their details are taken. However, we have acknowledged that the borders are porous and some people do enter illegally. And to address that, the government has launched the EID program. And what will happen is that we will have cards, this program has already started, has already been rolled out. We have cards for citizens and we have cards for non-citizens. And what we will do is for the persons who are in Guyana illegally, they will be given a grace period in which to come to register and have this EID card. This card, you will not be able to do anything, perform any, access any services, banking without this EID card for non-citizens. And they will be given a grace period. After that grace period is expired and you do not register and have an EID card, you will be taken out of the country and other sanctions will be implemented. That is the policy.
But it's up to now, are you fingerprinted? Are you fingerprinted on arrival?
Registration, Shabbat, be registered and so the prints will be taken.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, Shania Prasad, DPI. Can we get an update on the other victims of this crime?
Okay, I can speak to, I visited the adult is first of all, they are all doing well, as can be expected. They are recovering. The 2 children are being able to start eating. They're still hospitalized and they're going to be kept in the hospital for a few more days. And the adult has a fracture and she's expected to be released in a day or 2. And the other children are currently out of surgery. The plastic surgeon is looking at the child who had many lacerations and as a result of the glass, and but they are all recovering well.
All right, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Mr. Blanham, Commissioner, and Mr. Watts, Mr. Watts as DC officer. Levi Smith, Big Smith News Watch. Mr. Watts, could you say what systems are in place to safeguard the life and limb of our men and women in uniform and the police station and or wherever this suspect and his associates are being held at this time, given the nature and the seriousness of this offense and us seeing what they're capable of? What systems are in place to take care of our men and women dealing with this investigation?
Leroy, we are in an operation mode in force, and it's obvious that if we're keeping high profile business at the station, we will have to beef up the station. Generally across, and if you move across the country, immediately after this press statement we have here, you're going to see increased police on the road, but you're going to see police and soldiers on the road, and we've beefed up all the border locations in terms of policing and the rest of areas. And if you go on the road tonight, you're going to see patrols on the road too. So yes, we beef up all the regions to ensure that the police are comfortable, the police are safe, but more importantly, the public are safe. But at the stations, we are comfortable in that regard. The SOPs we protect.
Is the force in line?
No.
All right, so we're going to take maybe 4 questions more before we round up. Right? We'll go to, all right, I'll take Patricia and then we'll come to you.
All right.
Oh, let's take Trisha and then we'll go across and we'll come back to you.
The mic is on this side.
All right, just go ahead, just make it quick.
All right, so sorry. Following law enforcement judicial process, does the suspect have an attorney present during questioning, or has he requested legal representation? 1 and 2, how are the families affected by this tragedy being supported, and what message do you have to deter anyone who might consider engaging in such heinous act?
I can answer the first question. It is by way of procedure, whenever we put an allegation to a suspect who's in police custody, we would normally inform him of his rights. One of those rights is for him to have his attorney present when making a statement to the police. He was given that option and basically declined.
All right, go ahead, Trisha, and then we'll come to you.
The second question.
Come here and then we're going to come back. Yeah, the second question, Minister. Go ahead.
Yes, we have assured, first of all, little Soraya's mother, her name is Samantha Bourne. I've spoken with her. We've given a pledged government's support in whatever regards in terms of when she wishes to lay Soraya to rest, and all the kinds of support we've already started, and we've assured her, will continue to assure her of our support, and also in relation to the parents and the family of the 2 children who are hospitalized. It's a family unit, and we will continue to support. They're getting support through Human Services, and the Minister of Education has also reached out to them.
A message to anyone who may want to try such an heinous act?
The penalty for terrorism under the section quoted by the Commissioner is death, and we will be pursuing that in the courts. We will be making a case for the death penalty.
All right, Trisha.
It was mentioned that there are several persons in custody. Can you say if the accomplices are also assisting with this investigation as it relates to cooperating? You said you got a confession statement from the prime suspect. And lastly, given that Guyana would have encountered pirate attacks from the gang that was mentioned, can you say the Guyana police force is concerned, will we heighten our presence as relates to gang members, not only in the hinterland region, now that something has happened in central Georgetown?
We have 9 persons in police custody, and they're all cooperating with the detectives. You asked whether we're concerned. We are always concerned when we have these sorts of attacks. And attacks of this nature, they're not only perpetrated in Guyana. I recently came back from an Interpol organized conference. We had participants from the various South American countries. Guyana, we made our position clear that we need to have more collaboration and cooperation, especially as it relates to exchanging information on individuals who are part of these organized criminal groups. For example, the Sindicato. There's another group in Venezuela that is creating havoc in other countries. That's a trend here. So we are very concerned whenever we have incidents of this nature.
Before we wrap up, sir, a quick follow-up. Any links between the 2 previous attacks, the one at GPL and the one at the police station? And Mr. Hicken, quickly, I know you're getting signals to wrap up. The chief immigration officer, that's you. There were a group of British nationals, Muslim British nationals, who were detained at the airport and denied entry. Could you say why that was done? I think yesterday or today that took place. Muslim British nationals, and they were sent back to Trinidad where they came from.
Oh, no. But, Gordon, I'm going to speak to you on another occasion, but this we're dealing with.
No, but this is an important story.
To you, I just said
You don't talk to me. You don't talk to the press.
All right, we're just trying to focus on the press. So you have to
there were Muslim nationals, there were British nationals who were denied entry.
We're just trying to keep the focus on this investigation.
You don't get commissioner elsewhere,
and he's just committed to communicating.
He given press conference in 3 years.
All right, Commissioner, you can.
Mr. Crime Chief, on the links to the other 2 incidents.
And if the, and Chief,
remember we're rounding up. So let's deal with this question. Let's deal with this question. I understand that it's a good opportunity, but let's let the Crime Chief deal with the question.
The question still stands, sir.
Right, let him
It's a
respond.
matter of public importance.
Right, give him an opportunity
Not
to
one for the
respond.
Commissioner to evade.
Go ahead. He's not evading, he's right here.
He is evading, he's always did.
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner. Go
Sorry,
ahead,
Madam
Crime Chief.
Minister, I wrote your press conference. My apologies.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what's it?
As I said, Mr. Chabral, the investigation is still at a very critical stage. As the investigation unfolds, certain information we will share with members of the league.
You're talking about relationship, sir?
Now, we're speaking as it relates to the question about links of this attack that happened recently with the previous attacks that were perpetrated at the Eastern Belt Outpost and the power station.
As a Venezuelan embassy been informed?
Officially.
The Foreign Secretary, Mr. Omar Bissell, he and I spoke last evening, and he gave me the assurance that he will inform his counterparts locally and overseas. And I must say that I've seen a document whereby persons outside of our jurisdiction will have circulated the wanted bulletin of this individual. So we are getting the assistance that we need. We informed Interpol or the National Central Bureau of Caracas, and they have also responded to us. So we are exchanging information as it relates to this incident with our counterparts, both locally, regionally, and internationally.
All right, this is going to be our final question. I'm
I
sorry.
have a
Thank you.
There are a number of British nationals who were detained, denied
Minister, I have a
entry,
question.
and they're all over TikTok talking about it, so surely the government must be aware of that.
All right, let's just take this question from Travis, and then we'll
Let me wait until the minister answers the question. I'll wait.
Okay, go ahead, Minister.
You know, we have decided to engage the press on this particular issue that the public are concerned about. People want to know what is going on. We want to give them the information. We were regaled while the hard work of the investigators were going on. None of them has slept for the 72 hours. We were regaled for avoiding, for sidestepping, and as soon as we got the success, this is where we come to. We want to treat with what the people and the public are concerned about. And then we will engage on other issues outside of this press conference and other questions.
Okay.
All right, this is the final question.
Thank you.
Yes, and that's it. I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
but you were-
Thank you. This question is for
Yes, go
the
ahead.
National Security Advisor or Mr. Howell on this very incident. Is there a construction or a reconstruction of the security sector standard counter-terrorism operations?
In terms of counter-terrorism operations, we haven't reconstructed any of our procedures. The Guyana Defense Force the Guyana Police Force rather, is the lead on any internal security matter, and that is what happened in this case as well. I want to see a follow-up from the Honorable Minister that today the Guyana Police-led operation had a significant breakthrough in a very important security matter in protecting our people. And within this room and this environment, we expect or reasonably expect that we would applaud the efforts by the police force in having this breakthrough. And it was done so because of the capacity building and the human capital investment that was made over the years for us to come and to this point to solve a matter, an ongoing matter. And we've leveraged an integrated approach combined with technological assets and our human intelligence capability throughout this country within the last couple of years, to the point where we were able to quickly have real-time situational awareness and quickly solve matters. And at this time, the investigation is ongoing, and I trust that we will respect the crime chief and his office in their endeavors to continue to protect Guyana and mitigate any further incidents of this nature. Thank you.
One further. I have one final question. I have one final question.
So, I'm just going to ask Minister
Can I
just
put
to
my
round up.
final question,
Right.
please?
All right.
Thank you very much. Let me commend you guys for your wonderful work. Minister, you spoke of the state going for the death penalty. I know the president is being updated on this matter. Could you say, in the interest and for the benefit of the viewing public and this entire nation, if you as the security minister, and based on your conversations with the president, if you've gotten the indication that he may sign off on this man being put to death once this all comes to an end, the investigation and the court matters and so on, please?
A young, innocent child has been murdered. Had this man been able to put that device in that bin, more lives would be lost. But one life, Guyanese life, is still too much. Yes, I am absolutely sure that our Commander-in-Chief, that my President, will sign off on that order.
Thank you.
Then so you could go ahead and have the final word for the press conference.
Thank you all for coming and engaging in your usual disciplined and polite manner. And I look forward to future engagements in like manner from all of you. And I just want to, at this stage, close off by saying thank you to the team that you see at the head table, the Commissioner of Police and his executive leadership team, as you see represented here. They have shown, and their ranks, not forgetting the ranks out there, the work that they've put into this. And what I am also convinced about is that a tremendous investment that this government has been making, that my government under President Adi's leadership has been making in our crime-solving technology has worked wonders, and it's continued to work. We're seeing the smart city program, the command centers, the different intelligence-led technology capabilities. It is all bringing forth fruit, and within less than 72 hours we had a major breakthrough with something that would have taken weeks, months, sometimes most likely would have gone unsolved. But we were able to use the technology and the investment that government has made. And that is what I want us all to leave with, that we continue to lead this security sector, making investments. They are made with vision and with an attempt, with a vision and the strategy of making sure that our citizens remain safe. And all of our programs and investments are with that in mind. So to all Guyanese, just know that your government continues to work for you, continues to invest, that you have a safe life, and that your life, you continue to see the realization of all your dreams within Guyana. Thank you very much all for coming out, and we'll engage very soon.
Thank you very much, Minister. Thank you, members of the media. Thank you for your time and your patience. Thank you very much.